boys and girls, I hope you've been enjoying your summer holidays and are looking forward to going back to school. This week we are continuing on with David. I have some little friends to help us tell the story today, so I hope you look forward to hearing that story. But before that, I've got a little game for you to do. We're going to try and build a Lego house, as you will see. David wanted to build a house for God, as in a temple, but God had other ideas about building the house. And these are my friends Rolf.
Hello.
And Habakkuk.
Hello.
Did you watch last week's story? Do you remember who was in it?
I know.
We've been talking about this person a lot.
Who's it? David?
Yes. Who else is in the story?
I don't know.
Song.
Good one.
God.
Yeah. Do you remember what the story was about?
David?
Yeah, we sort of got that.
Timing.
Timing, yes. David waited on God's timing for him to be king, not taking it into his own hands. This week, we've seen what happens next. Once Saul and Jonathan had died in a battle, David becomes king. We can read this in 2 Samuel chapter 5, verses 1 to 5. Wait, Habakkuk, could you grab my Bible for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Could you turn to Samuel, 2 Samuel? I can give you a hand. Okay, have you got that?
No.
So it says, Then all the tribes of Israel came to David at Hebron and said, Behold, we are your bone and flesh. In the times past, when Saul was king over us, it was you who led out and brought in Israel. And the Lord said to you, You shall be shepherd of my people Israel, and you shall be prince over Israel. So all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, and David made a covenant with them at Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. At Hebron he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months, and at Jerusalem he reigned over all of Israel and Judah 33 years. So do you see, David had become king. But now, if we look forward to 2 Samuel chapter 7, verses 1 to 29, we can see God speaking through Nathan. So if you quickly turn through Habakkuk. Have you found it?
Yeah.
So in this, David wanted to build a temple for God.
Why did David want to build a temple?
Because there was not a proper place to worship God, because they had just been using the tabernacle, which was a tent to store, and that had the Ark of the Covenant in. So David wanted it to have a proper home, a proper place for God to dwell.
That's surprising.
Is it? But God said that it was his will for David's son to build a temple for
Who
him.
is that, Solomon?
It is indeed. High five. Yeah. And God gave David lots of promises from that. He promised that he would build him a house. Not an actual house built of stone, but a house like a family line. Almost like a family tree coming from him. God promised that David's name would be great and that he would have protection from his enemies. And that David's family would rule. And do you know who was one of David's descendants?
Jesus?
Yes! Right on! High five! And Jesus reigns forever. God fulfilled his promise to David in Jesus. Jesus is God's chosen king. And he wasn't like the other kings. Because even when he died on the cross, he rose from the dead.
Wow.
He's an eternal king. Not just a king for 40 years like David. And do you know what this means?
No.
Everyone
Do you know?
who trusts in Jesus can become part of his kingdom.
Yeah. If they repent and believe.
Quite interesting.
So do you see that David can paint a bit of a picture of what Jesus is like? He is a shepherd king who loves God and follows him and is an eternal king. Hope you enjoyed the story. Bye!
I'll tell ya, J-E-S-U-S. Yes, he is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Ba 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 ba. Who is the king of the jungle? Who is the king of the sea? Ba 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 ba. Who is the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell ya, J-E-S-U-S. Yes, he is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Ba 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 ba. U.S. Yes, he is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Ba 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 ba. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Ba 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 ba.
I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can see that Jesus can be your king too. Now we will do the memory verse. This is the new memory verse for the next couple of weeks. It comes from the story we read today.
The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16 verse 7.
Let's all say the memory verse together.
The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7.
Now, let's try remember it with a couple words covered up. Let's go.
The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7.
Now can you manage it?
The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7.
Can you remember it if it's all gone? The Lord does not
Look at the things that people look at.
People look at the
Outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7.